Welcome back to Coach Factory. In this episode, I'm excited to introduce you to Greg Fisher. Greg is a coach and a new friend of mine who is also the author of the book Unleash Your Potential. This collection of quotes is my go-to for journal prompts this year. In this episode, we're going to talk about his coaching business, how he got started, what he does, and what started him on this journey of writing Unleash Your Potential. There are links to his book on Amazon down below. I hope you enjoy the episode. Greg Fisher, thank you so much for joining me today on the Coach Factory podcast. How are you doing?
Yeah, Kathy, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, I've already talked to you a few times, but I'm excited to share some of your wisdom and some of the things that you've been doing in your coaching business and talk about your book, all
Mhm.
sorts of things. So I'm happy that you are here. Give the audience just kind of a background of who you are, your background, and what you've been doing.
Yeah, sure. Well, I always like to say, first and foremost, I'm a husband and a father. And in my spare time, I run my business called Team Unleash Your Potential, which has become primarily a coaching business, one-to-one and group coaching. And I most recently, as you mentioned, launched a book on October 29th of this year called Unleash Your Potential,
Which I
which is a
have.
collection of 55 quotes that I kind of been collecting for about 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Um, and when I started collecting them, I don't think writing a book was really on my radar. But in the last couple of years, writing a book had become something I wanted to do. And quotes have had such an impactful thing in my life for me in terms of decision making. I remember in 2007, the company I worked for was going through a big structure change. And there was a quote from Stephen Covey, which is, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." And and I was like, am I just going to sit here and be told that here's your new job, which I don't know, and just deal with this, or am I going to go create the future I want? So I ended up, I was there for 11 years and I resigned largely because of that quote. So, I mean, that's an example of how impactful quotes can be in terms of inspiring and motivating and giving us insight. So that's what I hope my book does for other people.
Yeah, I think it will. I just got it last night, so I have not had a chance to really dive into it. But at the end of the year, it's 52,
Yeah.
52 weeks in a year. So I think it's like a perfect way. I'm looking at it as a perfect way because I journal
Mhm.
because I find it being very helpful just in sort of analyzing my life and who I am, what do I want to do, those types of things. But it's a perfect prompt for journaling and self-exploration and what are my values, what do I believe, what do I want,
Yeah.
that I'm going to be using it throughout 2026 as my journaling prompt. So it's going to be on
Awesome.
my desk for a while.
Yeah.
Good
That's
stuff.
great. That's great. Yeah. My hope is that, individuals like yourself will use it that way. And even for people that are managing or leading teams, it's the kind of thing that they could grab onto and use it as kind of a common language amongst their team to point them in the direction of insight and inspiration and, explore the concepts in there together and see where it takes them.
Yeah. So in your previous career, you were leading rather large teams.
My first team was a team of one lady reporting to me. That was my first experience managing and leading people. And then I think the largest team I ever had was something like 18 or 20 people in the
Okay.
grocery business, which I loved. That part of my job was the part I loved the most, helping people unleash their potential. That's kind of been this theme. Those words have really resonated for me as I got into leadership. And Stephen Covey's Seven Habits of Highly Effective People is kind of my Bible for leadership for many, many years until more recently when I started following Jamie Smart, his book Clarity, and he's got another book called Results. And not that that's replaced the Seven Habits, but it's certainly helped see them through a new lens and a new dimension. So it's
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah. Amazing. And since you left your corporate career, you've been coaching. Are you coaching leaders who are leading teams? Is that your
Yeah,
primary
it's a
focus?
bit of a mix, largely like people that are either consultants or entrepreneurs themselves. Some corporate clients. In 2026, I'm looking to get into more corporate. I'm hoping this book helps me find my way into more corporate gigs with people from my past career and things, helping support their teams and things like that. And then also I'm a huge sports fan. I've been a sports fan my whole life, was an athlete. I retired officially from playing hockey when I was 49. My knees just couldn't deal with it anymore. But looking to get into coaching athletes. As a coach, I often try to get to my clients' dream come true result. Like, what is it? Their ultimate dream. And for me, it would be to coach the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is our local NHL team, who haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. So who knows? Maybe a clarity coach is the thing they need to get over the top.
Yeah, so much of sports is, because my husband did golf coaching. So, and it was funny because he'd go out on the course with someone who had, something with their golf game, and they knew it was their mindset.
Yeah.
And he'd come home and he's like, they're fighting with their wife. It's showing up in their game. So much of performance in terms of sports can be mindset, right?
Yeah. It's most people's approach is like an additive approach. Like, I need a new technique or a new thing, but really what it usually is figuring out what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
Like problems at home, or I'm thinking about the future or the past, or I'm just not present in the moment and in playing the game. There's a Bobby Jones golf quote, which is golf is a game played on a 5-inch course, the 5 inches between your ears. And it's so true.
Yeah. I think it's so true for so many things. Just the way you see your world, the way you interpret things, the meaning you give to certain things can change your entire experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Think about maybe a recent client or a favorite client, a breakthrough experience that you've had with a client that was really meaningful to you as a coach. What happened there?
Yeah. Well, with all my clients, I'm trying to explore with them, like, what is it that they want to create? What do they want? And the most common answer I get is, I don't know. And for many people, even the idea that they can have what they want, or they can create what they want, or that they have a role to play in how their life unfolds is kind of surprising or shocking to them. It's funny because even when I think back to my own career, most of the jobs I kind of fell into, I did a good job, and then I got recognized for doing a good job and got offered a promotion, things. But like, if I look back at my career path, it's all these kind of things that I didn't really create. They just kind of fell in my lap until these certain milestones in my career where I decided I wasn't up for whatever the company thought my next move would be. And then I did take massive action towards what I wanted. 2019 is a perfect example. When I left my corporate job behind and started, when I left, I didn't know this is what I'd be doing, or that there was a global pandemic on the horizon. But, in hindsight, I'm so happy it worked out that way.
Yeah.
Helping people get in touch with what it is they want to create. And often it starts with getting them to realize that they have a role to play in what it is that they created. And some of it is what you just said, mindset, right? It's the one that most people relate to quite easily is glass half full, glass half empty kind of mentality, right? So, are you the kind of person who sees everything as kind of a downer and, what we would call a victim mentality? Or do you have an owner mentality, which is like, okay, something terrible happened to me, but what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do to move forward? And and it gets to be a lot of fun when people start exercising those muscles and seeing that they do play a role. They can, for the most part, create what they want. Habit one of the 7 habits is be proactive. You are the creator. And I love helping people figure out what it is they want to create. And in my last, I guess 2026 will be my 3rd year running this program called Make 2026 Your Best Year Yet. So just the idea that that's even on on offer for people, best year yet. When I started this program, I guess I was like 50 or 51, and I kind of was looking back at my own life, going like, really, best year yet? Like, when was my best year yet? And I'm like, maybe when I was 23. I don't know, like in my prime, and everything was just amazing. And I started thinking about it. It's like, no, like, it's possible. And even this year, so 2025 for me, my dad passed away in April, and my mom had died in 2020. So I'm now parentless. I'm about to have my first parentless Christmas.
Wow.
But that's fine. I mean, that's life. And I'm amazed at how, don't get me wrong, there's moments of grief and loss and sorrow and all those kinds of things. But for the most part, especially like this Christmas season, setting up the tree and spending time with my kids and my wife and reminiscing about, you know, traditions that my parents handed down to us and how we're carrying some of those things forward. Like it's been a wonderful way to celebrate and remember. So yeah, so even in the midst of losing my dad, 2025, I still hold it in that best year yet column. So it's
Wow.
amazing.
So you're definitely a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Or sometimes I'm not. I mean, that's part of being human. But
Yeah.
when I catch myself thinking glass half empty, I can get myself back to glass half full pretty quickly these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I think knowing that, you know, you're not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to have the best thinking, but how fast can you recover and get back to a place that says a lot, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the themes that's come up for me is resilience. You know, our innate capacity for resilience. And on Jamie Smart's recommendation, I was reading a book called Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb. And
Yeah.
it's a tough book to get through. I listened to it twice on Audible. And, but when I finally got it, it was like the insight I had was, oh, yeah, we have this amazing capacity for resilience because we need it. Being a human being is not easy. There's trials and tribulations in our life. I mean, you know firsthand what life can throw at you unexpectedly, and but we all have the capacity to survive and prosper even in the most difficult of situations. So
Yeah.
the very fact that we have that capacity means we're going to need it. That's the insight I had.
Yeah. From the, you know, with my husband's stroke, my drive was this can't be all bad. And so I had this attitude of I'm going to make something better from this. You know, like what lessons am I learning from this? How do I share this from a vulnerable place so that it inspires other people? Like, I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm going to transmute it. I'm going to be the alchemist and make it into something better. I think I was kind of trying to convince myself that it would make the whole situation better, which it never really did.
Yeah.
But there was this drive of like, I'm not going to let this thing from how I am in the world. It's going to, if it's going to have an impact on me, it's going to be something transformative. Like it has to be something good. But that can be so hard for people, can it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, even the most optimistic glass half full person is going to go through ups and downs and successes and failures. But I think of it less as a moment in time and more as a direction to head in. And kind of like the stock market, you know, the graph is like all these ups and downs, but as long as it's trending up and to the right, then we're all good.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
it's funny when you said to make it better. What came to my mind was the phrase "making the best of it." You know, like you can't undo things that have happened, but you can make the best of it, whatever that means in any given situation.
Yeah. It's really all you can do. I mean, there's going to be challenges no matter what, you know. If you're a parent, you eventually have a teenager, and
Yeah.
that's, you know, and there's all of the different transitions you go through as a parent. You know, first of all, it's like helping them do everything and they need you so much, and then they don't need you at all, and then they become teenagers and they really think they don't need you, but they need you more than ever. And it's like there's all of these changes of having to transmute yourself into being a different kind of coach to them, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. My wife and I have been empty nesters this year, and my kids are both away at university, and they're back for Christmas break now. And my son in particular, he's I don't know. We were talking in the car the other day and reminiscing about summer camps or something like that from his childhood. And he started apologizing to me for being such a brat. And I'm like, this is an interesting turn of events I wasn't expecting. But as he's gotten older and living on his own and seeing kind of how life actually works, realizing, you know, that he was a bit of a pain in the butt from time to time, and that's fine. I mean, I told him nothing to apologize for. You're just like all of us. He was doing what made sense to him at wherever he was at in that moment. But it's interesting to watch how they continue to learn from their own behaviors and mistakes of the past and so on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Being a parent is my favorite part of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very rewarding. They're definitely gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk to me a little bit about your coaching business. Like, so you started in 2019, and was it challenging at first as you started the business?
Yeah.
Well,
when I first started out, I thought I'm going to be a leadership consultant because I loved the leadership part of my corporate jobs and thought I had a lot to offer there. And stumbled across Jamie Smart was doing a free masterclass on Facebook on enrolling and objection handling and all these things. I thought, well, those would be good skills to have as a consultant. And I had been following him prior to that when he was running his NLP business. So I signed up for that masterclass, which then fed into something called Thriving Coaches Blueprint, which fed into Clarity Coach Certification Training. And I've been in his universe ever since, upgrading my skills and training every year. And I guess, even though I started I guess it was technically 2020 when my business started, but kind of full on coaching the last 3 years as kind of the main focus of my business and the main way I make my living now. So it's been an evolution. And I don't know about your experience, but early on as a coach, I struggled with things that my clients struggle with, like confidence and competency. And, I certainly don't have all my, act together in every element of my life. So how can I coach somebody about something when I'm struggling in that area of my life, like doubts and all those kinds of things? And I credit Jamie and his training, just kind of, not that none of those things matter, but start seeing the world much differently and see my role much more clearly in terms of what, I like to say, I'm not in the advice business, which is what a lot of people think coaching is, giving advice. I'm in the insight business. I'm guiding them to have insights of their own that will help them be guided and make the decisions that are right for them in their situations. So
that's a super good distinction, because I think a lot of people think coaching is advisement or, and a lot of what some of the, thought leaders in coaching talk about is like, teach what you know, teach what you've done, help the person you were 5 years ago, go find them. And it's not really, at least the coaching sessions that I've had that have been the most powerful for me, I almost feel like I'm a spectator. Like I'm just a guide, but all the magic is happening within that individual. And I'm just kind of like taking a step back in awe that processes are helping them get to a place. Like I'm just here with like guiding them through a process or whatever. And they get to, but they're doing all the work. It's kind of like coaching hockey. You're not on the ice, right?
Yeah,
you can't
you're
be
not
on
playing
the
the
ice.
game. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I used to, when I was a beginner coach, stressing out about asking the right questions, saying the right things, noticing the right things, all this kind of stuff. And what I found in practice is sometimes I say the right things, sometimes I say the wrong things, but in some cases, whatever I've said that's wrong has actually even been more powerful because the person in there articulating to me what's wrong about what it is that I said, they're getting in touch with what's right for them. And that can be just as impactful. So not to say that what I do or say doesn't matter, but it's much less about the words and more about the direction and the feeling and the connection and kind of the faith in knowing that they have the capacity to have the insights that they need and that they'll show up when we get kind of connected and quiet enough, meaning, taking things off their mind, worrying about whatever they're worried about. And when that noise all kinds of goes away, they have an insight.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like you have to be able to see that nugget of gold that's like right in front of them and kind of like take away all of the dirt maybe that is hiding that nugget so that they're like, oh my gosh, it's been there all the time. It's all them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and that's, for me, that's the key is that I don't need to see the nugget to know it's there. Like I already know it's there.
Yeah.
And going in and with every fiber of my being when I'm coaching them, projecting that I know that it's there, that it's whatever they want is possible, whatever is troubling them can be resolved, can be experienced in a way that is more in line with what they need.
Yeah. In your experience, what makes someone an exceptional coach?
Mm. It's a great question. I think the ability to go there first for people to be calm and clear and connected, to not get caught up in their story and kind of rein them back in when they're going off on tangents or they're just regurgitating the same thing that they're trying to get away from, and pointing them back in the direction of insight and in creation and what do they want. Because you can spend literally hours and hours with people who will tell you everything that's wrong with them or their peers or their family or whatever their situation is, and it might make them feel better because they're kind of getting things off their chest, that kind of thing. But ultimately, there's no progress unless we kind of say, got it. How do you love things to be going forward? What would you love to create? What would be possible for you if we got out of that cycle of telling the story and deciding what's next? So I think the coach that can calibrate their client and keep bringing them back to that direction is the ones that are the most successful. Like you said, it's not that them doing the heavy lifting necessarily. It's the client and the insights and the, Jamie likes to say the infinite intelligence behind life. So whatever you want to call it, that greater power that's there in all of us doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think 99% of the problems that people have are not going to that place, not going to that infinite intelligence or God or whatever it is that gives them that compass within them that shows them what it is that they want and knows that it's possible. There's a part of everyone who knows that they were meant for something more, and then they get hypnotized by something that tells them that they can't have it or that it's a pipe dream or it's impossible.
Well, and they got caught in the, in the frustration of that knowing, but not knowing how to get there.
Sure.
And I think that's where coaching can come in.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Do you do group coaching or are you just doing one-on-one?
Yeah, I've done some group coaching. I have a group right now that's a group of coaches. So we're all kind of working together. It's called the Coach Circle. I just had my call this morning. It's mostly with people overseas. So it's like 7 a.m. for me, which is some mornings tough to get going at 7, but I love it. It's, the kinds of conversations we're having and the support we're giving each other and the insights. One coach can have an insight about what they're doing in their business and the rest of us kind of just light up because we know, oh my God, that could be so helpful for my business or my clients or whatever. It's funny because the more group work I do, the more it's reminding me of how much I love managing and leading teams in my corporate life. Like that was something I really enjoyed doing. So not that I don't like one-to-one, but there's something, if leaning on my 7 habit stuff, habit 6 is synergize, the synergy of a group is awesome. 1 + 1 = 4 kind of stuff. So it's great when I get the chance to work with groups.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's cool. Now, do you do any kind of products? I know you have the book. Do you do like courses or anything like that?
Yeah, I've had one product that I've done a few times called Leadership for Retail Managers. So one of my clients owns a number of Hallmark stores. So I've done that program with each of her teams. And that's been quite successful. Retail is so busy. Especially this time of year, it's Christmas really sucks the life out of people in retail this time of year. But just pointing them back to things that they enjoy about the business. A lot of people work in retail because even though they don't like on the day-to-day basis all the turmoil and stress and whatever, but fundamentally they love serving customers. Hallmark's an interesting business because it's all nice to have kind of stuff. Like no one's one needs a Hallmark thing, but you're getting it to be a part of people's lives in the most intimate, important aspects. Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, births, deaths, Christmas. Like it's all these great things that happen in people's lives that they get to be a part of. I try to point them back to that too, like recognizing what business they're in. They're not just selling stuff, like they're creating experiences and helping people communicate with each other how much they love and understand each other. So it's a cool business.
That's really cool. That would be a lot of fun to work with a company like that. How fun. It's because nobody sends mail anymore. It's like even Christmas cards this year, I only got a couple, but there's something when somebody does send a Christmas card or when somebody does send a very sentimental gift like that, it means so much. And so really important.
Well, last Christmas we dealt with a postal strike here. So the post office put a damper on Christmas for everyone because they weren't delivering. But this Christmas, everything's on track. We've only got I think we've maybe got have a half a dozen cards so far, which is kind of slower than normal. But like you said, we're so used to electronic communication. When something like physical actually shows up in the mailbox, it's a thrill.
Yeah, it has much more meaning now. Yeah, for sure.
And it's like somebody had to actually get the card, write in it, go to the post office and buy a stamp, or the drugstore, wherever they get their stamps, and then put it in the mailbox. Like there's a lot of work that goes into that. So it's definitely a cool thing to do, and people appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's way more than retail. It's almost therapy for the heart, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. For somebody who's maybe thinking about becoming a coach, what would be your advice for them?
Yeah. Find a training program that resonates with you, I think is what I would suggest the most. I mean, obviously I've done all my training with Jamie Smart, so I highly recommend what he's doing, although he's transitioning his business. I think this year will be the first year in 13 or 14 years he's not running his Clarity training. Find a program that you resonate with, where you feel an alignment to the way they teach coaching, the resources that I've had in my coach training, like peer coaching, things like that, just to get your feet wet and really learn your craft.
Yeah.
And I've got friends now all over the world who, some of them I haven't met in person, but in some of them I have. The deep, meaningful relationships I've made with people during my coach training has been something I never really thought, it wasn't even on my radar as a thing. And that's been a big outcome of it. So, get the training and then coach people. That's the other thing. Like, there's a book I like by Steve Chandler and Rich Litvin called The Prosperous Coach. And there's an assertion there that a coach without a client is not a coach. So, you got to coach people. And for me anyway, it started off with first me, leveraging relationships I had with people to say, let me practice on you. Let me do me a favor. Let me coach you. And then the more comfortable I got and the better I got at it, then it was like, okay, pay me to coach you. And here's the value you're going to get out of it. And then, starting off kind of small. And then as I went along, getting more confident in what I was doing, being able to charge more and attract bigger players and deal with bigger issues and things that had, bigger price tags attached to the value that the clients were getting out of it. So, just coach as much as you can coach and learn and see if it's actually something you love doing. I mean, to kind of go back to your previous question, like the best coaches are the ones who love what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which I think goes without saying for almost any job. You got to have a passion for what it is that you're doing if you want to be really good at it.
Yeah. Can I tell you a secret?
Absolutely.
So my husband was a great coach. I only this year decided, I think I can do this too. I think I've got something to give. Yeah. I enjoy the process so much. I feel like it's such a gift to me to be able to sit with someone and be present with their transformation there, because they're doing all the work, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a guide, but to witness their transformation. I feel like it's more of a gift, like I'm getting a payment for it. Like I'm being paid from a more spiritual, emotional, inspirational standpoint, that it's almost like I feel guilty that I'm like charging for it, because it's like I get so much from the process. It's a weird thing. I'm trying to like figure it out. But have you ever felt like that? Like it's
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's because I too, like I have insights of my own when I'm coaching people. Like I come away from coaching sessions almost as transformed as the client. It's amazing. I mean, in Jamie's training, one of the things he teaches is that clients are paying for the results. They're not paying for your time or for your coaching or to hang out with you. They're paying for the transformations they want to make, the results they want to get, and that kind of thing. And it's, you know, the value that they place on those results. And even though it's true what you said, like, you know, as a coach, we're the guide, we're not necessarily doing the heavy lifting, but the truth is, without us working with them, they'd still be stuck where they were before we came along. It's like anything in the market, right? Like I did real estate from 2008 to 2010. It's like, you know, a house is worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. And, you know, coaching is the same thing. It's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. And what they're willing to pay for it is dependent on what the impact is going to be for them. So if it can get them, I've done a lot of work with people who are in career transition. So they've been restructured out of a job or made redundant, however you want to put it. And they're looking for new jobs, and they're dealing with kind of the shock of the situation, the loss of confidence in themselves, all these kinds of things. And quite often they find another job where they're making more money than they were making where they left. So, I mean, whatever that salary difference is worth, whatever I'm charging in coaching is a small fraction of that. So it's, you know, there's impact and value right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good insight. Very good. Do you work with people all over the world? I mean, you have your coaching group that is overseas
like
as well.
I'm here in Canada near Toronto,
Yeah.
in a city called Mississauga. I've got currently one, call him a local client. He's about an hour, you know, a little over an hour drive away from me, but we meet on Zoom. We've only met in person once. But I have other clients in Italy, Spain, the UK. And I mean, to me, one of the big gifts of the pandemic was the technology to meet and do work and be productive online. So tools like this that we're having this call on, and everyone's acceptance and comfort level of working this way is a game changer for the work that I do. So as long as you get your time zones straight, everything else is good.
Yeah, and all the calendaring systems and everything talking to each other.
Throws a wrench into everything because the UK changes at a different time than North America. And anyway, it's but we iron all that out. But it's and the one thing I've learned both through training and coaching people all over the world is that we're all dealing with the same stuff. Like whether you're in Europe or Australia or North America, the specifics are different, but the general themes of what people are coping with in their lives is pretty much the same. We're all having a human experience, and the bumps in the road seem to be mostly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Well, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, I'll have all the links in the description on YouTube and on the website. But for those who are listening, maybe they're in the car, how do people find you?
Yeah, so I have two main sites, coachingplease.com and Team UIP, as in Unleash Your Potential, teamuyp.com. And from there, you can get everything that I'm up to.
Amazing. Well, Greg, I am so happy that our paths have crossed and that I've gotten to know you and that I've got your book. I've got my plan for 2026 on keeping my, what did Stephen Covey call it? Keep your saw sharp.
Yeah, sharpen your saw.
Yeah, sharpen your saw. Yes, I knew there was something there. Yeah, so your book will be a big part of that. So I'm really glad to have met you, and I am so glad you joined me for the Coach Factory podcast today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.